Hey, what's up, everybody? I heard about what Kanye West said, and I just wanted to elaborate on some things. All right, look to your right or your left, at your loved one, or your significant other, or your child, or whoever it is sitting next to you. Imagine being chained to this person for months. Now, imagine being chained to this person, laying in your own feces and your own urine for months. Now, imagine flies and maggots embedded into your dead flesh because your flesh has died due to gangrene and other things, due to infection, due to sitting here in these damp conditions. And now imagine being tied to the person next to you, and all you hear around you is crying and weeping and in a dark place, and you feel this boat rocking. And some people you hear communicating talk the same language as you, but some people don't because there was a stereotype that they all spoke the same language and they captured themselves. All of that is false. You're surrounded by people that look like you, but they sound like you. Some of them sound like you, and some of them don't. And imagine sometime you see people that's being taken out of the boat. You see the light open up, and you see these people that look at totally different complexion and skin tone than you come down and take some people up, up of these flight of stairs or up this level. Some of these people you never see them again because they're tossed to their death in the sea after being raped and fondled. Some of them they're just tortured and brought back. Now imagine being one of the few that survives and makes it to the new country. Imagine being forced to have sex with other people that you never met in your life because you guys are a strong breed. You're being bred like dogs. And imagine if you're a man having your genitals fondled with by the master, being sexually abused in front of your wife and your children. Then imagine being separated from your family like cattle for sale. Imagine for hundreds of years you see uprisings. Slaves try to escape being met with brutal force, bullet to the head or whipped or even attached to two different horses, as in the horses are slapped, causing the horses to run in different directions, causing the slave or the person to be decapitated instantly. So when I hear people say our ancestors had a choice of over 400 years of slavery was a choice, it hurts my soul because first of all, our ancestors had strength that we never would have. Okay, we would never have the amount of strength that they had to deal with what they dealt with. Some of you can't even deal with working under the same boss at a job that you hate. Some of you can't even Some of you can't even work 2 or 3 hours without complaining and bitching in the morning. You telling me that these people decided to work 18, 19-hour days to the point where their hands were bleeding on a regular? They chose to be submitted and raped and killed and treated worse than property. Like these people chose to be humiliated and mentally enslaved and physically and spiritually in bondage to the point that it still affects us to this day. To where the system that's set up in effect to this day of white supremacy was rooted during the time of slavery, to where people are still benefiting from it, and people of melanin are still being cast down and killed under the same system. You mean to tell us that we all chose this willingly? Kanye West, you are a fraud. You are a fake snake. You became everything that you spoke of when you first became a celebrity. Everything that you stated that you didn't want to become, you are. You are. And it's much deeper to me. It's just deeper to the quote unquote mental illness. You're sick. You need help. You need help. And the people that's defending him, how dare you insult our ancestors? Like, y'all talk about, I always hear people disrespecting our ancestors, but neither one of y'all niggas had the strength, excuse my language, had the strength to be a Malcolm or a Martin or a Harriet Tubman, okay? Or a Nat Turner, okay? Like, y'all don't have the strength. You don't have the brilliance. You don't have the wisdom of a Mansa Musa. You know, you don't know where you come from. And I always hear these sayings, oh, we're not our ancestors. That's right, because our ancestors did something. Y'all be cowardly asses. All y'all do is protest on social media with hashtags. Y'all ain't shit. You ain't shit. If it wasn't for ancestors, there would be no Beyonce, no Jay-Z, no fucking Kanye West. There would be no Bill Cosby. There would be no Jill Scott. There would be no any successful black person of any stature or economic status would not be here. There would be no Oprah. There would have been no Frederick Douglass. There would have been nobody. There wouldn't have been no HBCUs. There wouldn't have been no sources of education, information for us. Would have been laws. Africa was a vast continent full of different kingdoms and languages and dialects. These don't break into empty vaults. So you really think Africa was abandoned and isolated and destitute? You think they would have came to Africa? And then after slavery was over here in America, they returned back to Africa and the exploitation of the blood diamonds. The blood diamond, which is still happening right now, which is why these countries, Asia and Europe, are still in Africa to this day, which resulted in the system of apartheid that the late Nelson Mandela fought against. But I wouldn't expect y'all to know any better. Y'all compare Nelson Mandela to fucking Meek Mills. It's an utter disrespect to our ancestors, what they stood for, and y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Kanye West, you should be ashamed of yourself. A coward. You're a coward. You're lost. What good is the profit of a man to lose his world, lose his soul, and to gain the world? You're lost, and I pray for you, and I pray for those idiots that follow you mindlessly. You're not no wise intellect. You're a fool. You're a coward, and you're hiding behind your fame and your privilege. You're privileged. We all are privileged to an extent. Way more privileged than our ancestors were. We're privileged because we don't have to work 21 hours on the field. We don't have to worry about being raped and sold like cattle and scattered all around the world. The African diaspora still had a mental effect on our people to this day, to the point where we think slavery was a choice. Are we saying that we chose slavery now? This generation is really on some shit. Like, I really just wonder about us sometimes. Like, I really wonder about this generation. Like, the fallacies that we spread, the falsehoods. Like, open up a damn book and research and read. Read about the African diaspora. Read about what we went through before you open up your mouth to bring down your ancestors. It's still a form of self-hatred. You blaming the victim. You blaming the victims of slavery versus the people that impose it, versus the white man that imposed it, versus the system of white oppression that still exists to this day that created it. But you voted against those who was victims of it versus those who supported it and encouraged it. I just can't understand people. Like the people he gotta play. Are y'all retarded? Are y'all slow? What the fuck is going on with this generation? Like I really it's sad to me. Like it really is sad. I can't even say no more, man. I can't even say no more. I just gotta leave it at that. Kanye West, you became a pawn in this wicked system of things, and I wish you the best, I guess.